evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to This Week Unloaded. We are back from an unscheduled hiatus, and tonight we have with us first a Blokes Two Cents hiatus, and tonight we have with us. Is that me? Oops.
No.
First, I forgot I had that window open. My bad. Anyway, first we have with us a Blokes Two Cents. How are you tonight, Bloke?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for the invite, Rich.
Yep, no problem. And next to him, we have Mr. Jason Stewart.
Hey, good evening, Rich. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for the invite, Rich.
Yep. And then directly below him, we have the kingpin of crime, David Bowling. How are you tonight, David?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yep. And next to him, we have the Orange Man Bad, otherwise known as the Snob's wife, a.k.a. Stacy. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, so thank you for the invite. And I was still on pins and needles, waiting to see if you were going to have it.
Yeah, I didn't get sick this weekend, so we were all good.
I think Snob got sick for you.
He might have got what I had.
Maybe.
And then last but not least, we have the Tactical Pickle all the way from California, Calaveras 32 Special.
I appreciate the invite, Rick. And isn't that just crying shame that Snob is under the weather today?
He's been kind of whiny, and in the house all day compared to being outside or in his office.
You should be used to that by now.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be whiny a lot.
But usually he's going to go outside and do videos and be in his office. He's pretty much been in the house.
Problem is, you miss the opportunity to change the locks while he's outside.
True.
Yeah. So we all know what's been going on in the news. Do we want to discuss that any farther, or do we think that's been driven into the ground at this point?
I'd like to say just one thing about it.
All right.
There are, there were people that, around those instances that stepped up and did, more than what you could really ask for average Joe to do to try to save people. They're the ones we need to focus on, not the, how should I say, undesirables who actually did it. Mm-hmm. No names, no photos. They need to die in obscurity.
Yeah, the perfect example is the guy who Roll Call was talking about last night on Gary's show, who he didn't seem to have a very favorable opinion of. But the guy, if you read the transcript of the interview, because I forget who it was, I read the transcript of the interview on last night. They had the actual transcript of it. And the guy was at a sporting goods store across from the Foot Locker in the mall itself. He wasn't in the Walmart store, right? They had a little kid come running into the sporting goods store saying that there was a shooter at the Walmart. So nobody believed them, and then they start hearing the gunshots. So he goes to check the hallway and see what's going on. He looks across at the Foot Locker. Foot Locker's doing lockdown. They're starting to bring the gate down and everything to seal off the store. A bunch of kids take off running from their parents, and him and another guy run and grab the kids and take them back to their parents inside the Foot Locker to get those kids out of any possible line of fire that may have erupted.
I heard something about that as well. Those are the people that that need to be made famous, not the. I'm trying to keep this PG, Rich. I promise. It's the undesirables that need to, like I said, die in obscurity.
Yeah, I think if at least one person was armed, I wonder how this would have gone.
Well, the guy that was getting the kids, he was armed, but he was more worried about getting those kids somewhere safe than he was trying to go storming into Walmart by himself when he had no idea what was going on in the store.
That's
Yeah.
where he made the tactical decision to. That's where, like, I would hope most carriers are smart enough to do. You don't go running after trouble. If like, say he's in, and that's I don't know what other store you happen to be in, but that's what they talk about the Foot Locker. If you're standing in the Foot Locker and the gunman walks in, then you engage him. But that's where if they're in, the other end of the mall, you try to help people evacuate and you watch their backs. You don't go running after it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
If you don't see who the shooter is, say he was the run in there, and I think that was brought up earlier. I think David brought it up. What if he ran in there and someone who had a concealed carry had their gun out? Well, he might have been mistaken for the one that was doing the shooting, even though he wasn't. So
Yeah, exactly. You might end up with a friendly fire situation.
yeah, so I mean, you need to make sure exactly who the actual shooter is. You can't just run in there and just shoot somebody with a gun. You have to make sure.
Have anybody heard anything about the one in Ohio this morning when it was real early news? I read, I think it was on USA Today, that somebody grabbed the rifle and took it out of his hands.
Yeah, I didn't. But you're the only person I saw say something about along those lines. But they were talking about it on a Matt's show in the earlier, before I started setting up for this, to where
They asked the sheriff or captain, whatever the leader cop was that was on TV, about the whole grab the gun thing, and the cop said there's no evidence to support that. The only thing that the cop said, the only thing that he could say that is even remotely close to that was after they shot him, they pulled the gun out from underneath of him. But as far as somebody grabbing the gun, there's zero evidence for that.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
What I read this morning was somebody grabbed the barrel of the gun, took it from him, and when he was reaching for a handgun, that's when the police showed up.
yeah,
That's what I read from, I believe it was USA Today, but that was early this morning, and I've been working all day, and I haven't heard any if there's any follow-up updates or anything.
Yeah, and from what they were saying in the YouTube chat when Matt was doing his show, Never Enough Ammo, for those who don't know who Matt is, they were saying in the YouTube chat that he had dropped his sister and her boyfriend off at that bar right there where the shootings was taking place at. Dropped them off, went back, I guess, to his house or wherever he was staying, got the gun, came back, and then started doing the shooting.
There's no evidence of that either.
Okay, there's no evidence of that.
No, the official report from the police once again, where they went to this club town, whatever, like the hot spot of the city, and at some point in the evening they separated, and so they're not aware of whether he left and went and got guns, if the guns were in the trunk and the people knew about it, if the guns were in the trunk and they didn't know about it. The official report so far is they went to the party together, and some point in time in the evening they separated. So any other story is conjecture, because you can only go by what the official reports tell you.
Now, was his sister and her boyfriend among the casualties, or?
The boyfriend was injured, and the sister was shot. I'm not clear if the sister was killed. I'm pretty sure she was killed, but her boyfriend was just injured.
Yeah, because what they were also saying on Matt's show is that the sister and the boyfriend didn't know that he had the guns.
What about the body armor? Was he truly wearing body armor?
He had a vest on. It's not like the California guys back in the day that were like,
walk the whole town. Yeah,
those guys were like, how.
Okay, did he drop out for anybody else, or is that just me?
No, he dropped out. He has problems with this on his phone.
He has a problem. Yeah, he gets kicked out a lot.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
With Wi-Fi period on it. It's not just his phone.
That's where, a vest. That's where most of your media doesn't know the difference. That's where the law enforcement will say vest, and the media will say, "Oh, they're wearing body armor," even if it was just a carry vest and didn't actually have even soft armor capabilities. So that's where a vest doesn't mean much.
The police said it was a ballistic vest.
Yeah, he's probably had class 3 vest. There's no lake area.
Okay, so ballistic vest says it tells me a little more. That's right. Just that's why I was asking Kingpin. That's right, because as you guys all know, knowing the difference, vest doesn't necessarily mean much on its own.
Yeah, a class 3 vest, unless you have the bullet carrier in there, is just made to stop small caliber pistol rounds.
Right.
It's interesting how some of the first reports come out aren't exactly the true facts. Unfortunately, we got examples of it all week long.
Well, a lot of times what happened is in these press conferences, one reporter hears another reporter ask a question, and then they report on what the reporter questioned.
Yeah.
So it's a journalistic trick that they use all the time to justify printing stuff.
Yeah, and they don't know if it's related to the motive or not, but when looking at the social media for the Dayton murderer, he was a Satanist. They don't know if that's related in any way or not, though.
Yeah.
Once something is said out loud, it's considered reported. Just like with the whole, Donald Trump Russia thing. As soon as James Comey had that meeting with Donald Trump to tell him about the letter, it all of a sudden became official news, so they could start reporting on it. So as soon as some idiot says something out loud, the reporters can start reporting on it.
Yeah, somebody said on Match Chat because there were arrests made of people that worked for Trump. The Russian thing had to have some truth to it. No, because they weren't arrested for anything having to do with the whole Russian investigation. It was just something that Mueller found while he was investigating the Russian thing and turned them over for further investigation for. It had nothing to do with the Russian thing, with the things that these people were arrested for.
Some of the Russians that were indicted by Mueller in the first round of indictments showed up for court. And when the judge said, "Let's go, Mueller," Mueller said, "I'm not ready." So he didn't expect anybody to come. And two smart Alex out in Russia actually got lawyers to show up for court. But they didn't show up for court. They sent paperwork in, but that's basically showing up for court and said, "Okay, we're ready to have a trial." And Mueller backed out.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Anafort and the other guy, though, the one who they raided his house at night and CNN just happened to be there for it. They weren't arrested. The things they were arrested for had nothing to do with the Russian thing. They just had other things that they had done shady in the past that came back to bit them in the ass that got brought up when Mueller was looking at them as part of the Russian thing. So that even though those two were arrested, it had nothing at all to do with the Russian thing.
Yeah, that what you're talking about there. That just shows you how screwed up it is. The FBI shows up beating on the doors like it's a surprise, and CNN's already set up out front with their whole street of their vans, reporters and lights, and vans with satellite towers that come up out of them and everything.
CNN was there
crazy.
before the FBI was.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
CNN was already broadcasting when the FBI showed up at their door. Somebody tipped off CNN that was happening. Yeah, decent. So that,
Anyhow, is there anything positive that we can talk about since we've, I think that's where we've gone far enough down this particular rabbit hole personally.
Yeah, one last thing. This is what Manafort was charged with. He was charged with a decades-old tax evasion charge that had absolutely nothing to do with what they was actually being investigated. So, yeah. So, anybody got anything they want to talk about?
That Beretta PT-100 shot pretty good today for not really having any sights on it.
Nice.
The Taurus one you got?
Yeah.
I was saying no sights. Did you get shooting lessons from Night Strike or what?
No, not Night Strike. Patriot in the Dark.
Yeah,
No,
sights
that's
are
right.
fast.
Yeah, Patriot in the Dark has a 1911 with no sights. So
That's right, because sights are a fad, right?
Yeah, sights are just a fad.
David, that's a beautiful gun, man.
Oh yeah, it needs some tender loving care, which my man Jason here is helping me out with. But it's gonna look sharp soon.
You don't have to talk about it on air if you don't want, but the pictures I got, I couldn't tell. But what's the story behind the serial number on that?
The guy spray painted over it. It's
Okay.
illegal. It's illegal. Like, it is a legal firearm and all that kind of stuff. It's just the jackass spray painted over it. At the same time, he screwed up the rear sight and the front sight.
Okay, well then, because like I couldn't tell, it looked like it was scratched.
No, it's got that that nickel finish on it or whatever,
Uh,
and right around the serial number, it's kind of glossy as opposed to nickel, so the serial number stands out. And he took like puffy paint or something like that and painted over top of it to make it look like. And as soon as I picked it up, I rubbed it off and I said, "What's that about?" And then I looked at the sights and I was like, "Man, you've been painting, huh?"
maybe you can get it off then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just polish it up. I cleaned it today after I shot it, but I'm just gonna have to polish it up.
Nice. Yeah, to me, I couldn't tell at first if it was like holster wear or if it was it was scratched or what. But being paint, that's probably a good thing, better than being all scratched.
Yeah, I wiped it off with my finger like the very first second. Believe me, I live in Maryland. The last thing I'm gonna do is break a gun law.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might have had like dark, like the letters might have been painted in black or something, and he didn't like it. I usually don't like mine. I haven't tried changing any of them, but sometimes silver, nice gun, and then all of a sudden they're filling in all the numbers and writing on it. It kind of takes away from the looks.
Well, I don't know if you saw my Colt AR-15 video,
I've
but
seen that beige one.
yeah, the bronze colored one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spray paint. That the same dude had somebody spray paint the thing, and it looks like crap. So he's good at woodworking and doing like little etchings into the wood stocks and all that other kind of stuff. But when it comes to paint, I think I'd rather have Patriot do it.
Yeah, that's all. Not proud of. That's where when I first got my my shield. That's where I was like, yeah, that's where there's a lot of people that are using the paint like in some of the engraved parts on the slide. I wouldn't touch the serial number, but like, and you can make a pop a little bit. I put some in. That's where I was looking at it for about a day. Like, yeah, no, it took some acetone and cleaned it back out again. And I was like, I'll just keep it black.
It's definitely on the agenda to get. I do want to. I don't know. I'm undecided on that, either the Beretta or the Taurus. But I have a holster for that. It's a drop leg holster. Ever since the Army got rid of the Berettas, they're going pretty cheap. So when I bought it, I wanted it for the P226, and it's got the 92 Beretta holster on there. So that's on my radar next.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to live vicariously through the Gun Channel's crew for a while for new firearm purchases. I'm having to save up for a significant life event next year, so that's where I'm not buying any guns right now.
For those of you that don't know, he's talking about a wedding.
Yes, I was about to ask him how the engagement's going.
It's good. We've got our venue lined up and our photographer lined up. Now just time for everything else.
It's pricey, man.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm lucky enough. That's where photographer is. I'm related to him, so that's where it's my older half brother. His wedding present to my fiance and I is doing the photos.
Oh, that's awesome, man! Congratulations, by the way.
Don't spend
Thank
a whole bunch of money on your wedding, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
It's an absolute waste of time to do and money when you guys could take that money and put it toward your life.
A house. That's your best investment is a house at this point.
Save some money and elope.
Do what I did at my first marriage. I went to Vegas.
I was just about to ask if that was Vegas.
Did you get married in the drive-through?
No.
Oh.
We actually just did the courthouse, but no.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever we got divorced, and our divorce was supposed to be final August 23rd. Well, yes, I remember that day vividly. August 23rd, 2000 is when I got divorced.
Oh, wow.
But July 4th, before we were actually legally divorced, he actually went back to Vegas and did a drive-through wedding.
If your guys' divorce hadn't finalized yet, how did he manage that?
Well, he ended up getting annulled later on because he ended up going in the military after that, and like a month after he got married. So him being gone in the military, they ended up just
Not working.
getting it annulled anyways. So
Yeah, not trying to be rude. That's for example, I've been trying to really hard to be nice since you called me out. But that's for sounds like that one may have been a real winner.
Yeah,
No,
we
not
have
so
some ways in our background, don't we? With skeletons in the closet. I got one.
that was pure teenage stupidity.
Yeah. My wife and I, we made a promise not to go in debt, and I would say I'm pretty cheap, but my wife's way cheaper than I am, and the stuff that we purchased after the event, we're lucky enough that we live near.
I had to one day to turn the sound down.
Oh, I was just wondering, don't think your tablet completely died. That's turning it off for now.
Hey, Rich, is that your wife in the background that we're hearing?
Yeah, that was my wife.
Hello.
Okay, I was just making sure.
That's that's his boss.
Yeah, that's where I found that one out. When my fiance moved in about a year ago, it went from being just me at the house to being the two of us, and I quickly lost rank as soon as she moved in the door. So I understand the whole boss thing.
I would say I lucked out with my wife. She's not materialistic at all. I bought her jewelry, and because that's the usual go-to. She liked the plaque that I got her, saying that she was the best mom. So I lucked out in that area.
Very nice.
Gun-loving grandpa said, "My next wedding, I'm getting Nia to marry us on live chat."
NEA, that's Matt.
NEA.
Or enough ammo.
Yeah, he's a ordained priest or something. Some online church.
He got himself ordained in one of those off the wall things as a joke.
Wow.
That's cool. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I gotta get rid of this plate.
I think I've had at least one person give me from the gun channels group giving me grief like, hey, you guys gonna live stream the event? And I think my fiance would string me up on on live stream if I tried that one.
Yeah.
This is a very special day for her, man. It's not about you and your friends. This is.
I totally. That's one thing I do understand, and that's where like when she's okay, I want this, I want that. It's like, hey, as long as it's within our budget, because that's for again, so that's the whole trying not to go into debt things. Like as long as it's within our budget, if you want it, I'll see if we can make it happen for you. Because that's for. I understand it's more for her than it is for me.
Yeah, that's their day, and
it'll be your good memories too, though, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There ain't no such thing as good memories for a man when it involves a wedding.
Oh boy.
I thought you were sick in bed.
He's gonna be something here in a minute.
I am still sick. I have to defend manhood.
Hey, I want it known that I was perfectly content to keep living together like we were, but somebody insisted we had to go get married. Yes, it was.
Because I think I asked you one time, you said you were together 11, married 2, right?
Yes.
Well, you guys have been together long enough now, and you obviously it must be pretty good, even if you give each other grief all the time. So.
No, we'll just kill each other.
Oh.
No, correction. I'm going to go dig a very big hole in the pasture and put him in it.
No, that's right.
And then my excuse is going to be he ran off with some woman.
I was, what I would say that's where is you happen to dig a hole, and then while out working cattle, he fell into it on his own, and no one noticed. That way, there's less suspicion.
And the cattle walking by pushed all the dirt back in.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys see this shirt right now I got on? Yeah, anytime I wear this shirt outside and there's little kids around, I get pointed at.
That was a good show.
DuckTales. That was a good show.
I love that show. DuckTales.
Well, that's for because I grew. Those were on TV when I was a kid. That's because I was only born in '90. But that's for so I was remember a lot of those cartoons being on when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was in middle school when this show debuted.
Really?
Yeah, that's for. I know,
How
like
old are
my.
you, Rich?
Sorry.
Huh?
How old are you, Rich?
I just turned 45 in March.
Oh, you're not that much older than me.
Good God, you're old.
How old is Snob there, Stacy?
35.
29.
35.
Oh God, I think I'm the oldest one here. That usually doesn't happen.
Ah, you haven't asked my wife her age yet.
Hey, I'm
Gary's not,
still not the oldest.
Gary's
Rich-
not here, so somebody's
Rich
got to
is
be.
older than I am.
That's right. I would say Stacy is in her late 20s. It may be the anniversary of, but she's in her late 20s.
Okay, you're definitely getting your
Brownie.
niceness back and maybe a Rich back. Keep saying stuff like that.
I think he said it was the anniversary of you being in your late 20s, meaning double.
That's just simple.
It's the 10-year anniversary of my 29th birthday.
20 year.
But yeah, it's I don't know. That's for my my way of looking at it. Age is a number. That's for it. It more depends on how you feel and how you act. That's for. I've met plenty of people that are in their late 20s that act like they're 13 half the time, and then I've also run into a handful of people that are the opposite. So.
Oh, like Snob, he's 35 and he acts like he's 4 sometimes.
Well, I wasn't going to name any names, but yes.
It's right that I act like an old man, not like I'm 4.
No, I said your music is old man music. It's not
What's you
good.
listen to?
Oh, Red
Okay.
Dirt. I mean, some of the songs are good, but some of them are just old. And then he has a tendency to sing them, which just totally ruins the song anyway.
We've all heard his singing.
Yeah, it's not very well.
I know you ought to be paying me. It's so good.
No.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
for.
not even close.
Now, if anybody's paying anybody, you should be paying for our,
Yeah.
a psychologist or whatnot for helping us deal with the issues after hearing you sing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pay
and,
for the
and the
therapy.
hearing test to make sure our ears are okay afterwards.
Well, he's going to get you a copyright strike because he sounds just like Conway Twitty.
Exactly.
Oh,
You
geez.
can't tell
Hey,
them
be
apart.
nice. Conway's good.
Can't
Yeah,
tell
but
them
the problem
apart.
is he's trying to sing Taylor Swift.
That's where Conway's good. Not a big Swift fan. First album wasn't bad. After that, it went downhill.
I've never been a Taylor Swift fan.
Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr. is pretty good. Loretta Lynn. I also listen to some of the 70s and 80s rock. But
Coal miner's daughter.
Am I going to have to mute Stacy because of him?
Yeah, Stacy, get that cat out of the area.
Well, the only thing is, then what do all I could do is plug my ears, and it still doesn't help.
you don't have a baseball bat in the house?
No, I used to. My daughter played softball for one season, and she gave it up, and
Got a
Yeah.
golf club?
we gave it to our cousin because she was going to play baseball.
Got a golf club?
No.
Golf course is a willful misuse of a perfectly good rifle range.
There's some perfectly good belts right
I
here.
don't play golf, but I got golf clubs.
I just need to buy a whip, something that's long enough that I don't have to get up.
Ooh, kinky.
You won't enjoy it, trust me.
Yeah, one of those bull whips and learn how to use it, so you can get just that perfect distance and split the skin open.
Yeah.
Man.
You can always get a cat of nine tails. That's a
There you go.
That's a multi whip that has like barbs and stuff on it.
Gun-toting pacifist said, "Is that a beagle howling?"
If he keeps singing, there will be one.
My beagle sounds better than that.
And,
And the beagle's cute.
that he might get your beagle.
Yeah, and my beagle's cute.
So,
That's where I don't have a beagle. So, this is just not the kind of dog I want to get myself. But I do admit they are cute, and I do like beagles. I just, I want to eventually, when I get a place of my own and I can actually have dogs in the backyard, a black lab that I can train to be a bird retrieval, and then a Queensland heeler, as my guard dogs. Because labs are stupid happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a happy lab is still dangerous. That tail is a club.
It is, but that's for you want a topic there, Rick? Maybe Rich, maybe about the go around the room and if you want to do like a top 3 or something, if you want to steal from someone else and like hey top 3 dog breeds.
Ooh. I got 3.
All right, let's see what everybody has.
All right.
We'll start with Bloke.
Australian Shepherd, number 1. Doberman, second. And the third, I would say Husky.
Nobody asked you, snob.
what did he say?
On YouTube, Shay said it's the worst show ever.
No, he's just whining. He couldn't find it. He's like, is this show on air? It didn't show up in his subscription feed. He had to search for it.
Cry me a river, snob.
That issue that doesn't show up in the notification.
Hey, Rich, make me a moderator. Can you make me a moderator real quick? I'll delete that.
Well, let's see. Where are you at? You got to say something over here. I did pop up the YouTube chat in case I did have to moderate anything. Where you at? Have you said anything? Yeah, there you are. Okay. Add moderator. So, yep, now you're a moderator.
All right, who's who's the next one to give their top 3 since Bloke started?
Well, not too many years ago, I had 8 or 9 dogs at one time, and I think it's easier for me to pick which breeds are my least favorite.
I was going to put this in notepads so we could tally these up. But if you don't tally them up, we don't have to. Because I was going to ask Blake what he said again. What was it? You said Australian
Shepherd,
That's what I
Doberman,
thought.
and a Husky.
Australian Shepherd, Doberman, and Husky. Okay. Go ahead, Jason.
I'll give you a top 3. I'll go for Boxer. Now I'll go with a Husky.
Which boxer? There's a couple. Did boxers in general?
Yeah.
There's different varieties.
The ones that seem to be not as hyper as the other ones. But those I had a sweet one of those. I had a Husky and a Coyote mix. That was a wonderful dog. So I guess I'll just say the Husky.
Yeah,
and the Corgis. I still have 2 Corgis right now. I just got one a few weeks ago. Everything just works out great. He's been here for years and years.
All right. Who's next? Stacy. I know you're going to say Beagle.
Yes, my beagle's only first. And then I had a Husky Malamute that I loved. He died. But yeah, well, he was technically he was Malamute and Wolf. But and then Pyrenees. We had Cassie, and she was a Pyrenees, and she was one of the best dogs we had too.
I have no idea how to spell that.
Just put something that so you know what it means.
Yeah, technically great Pyrenees.
PYRN. I don't
I
know.
got PERANESE.
PYRNESE, I think.
Yeah.
Are we seriously listening to an Oklahoman for spelling? Do they even speak English down there, or what?
It's closer than what Rich has.
It's PYRE PYRENEE.
NEE
Yeah.
PYR.
Yeah, I'll put it in the side chat.
Yeah,
Sometimes
do
it's hard
that.
to-
ENEES.
Yeah,
Yeah.
EMES.
My brain's not fully functional right now for some reason.
Yeah, I was really close, actually.
I'm terrible when it comes to people spelling things to me. It's like, don't do that. I'm never any good at following when somebody's like spelling something like that. It's like, what?
I used to be really good when I worked as a dispatcher. You know, you have to get that information down pretty fast.
It doesn't matter, just so I know what it is. 'Cause it's, nobody's going to see it anyway. Now that I think about it, I'm sure it's close enough. I know what you're talking about. All right, whose turn is it? Oh, Pickle.
Number 1, Queensland Heeler, which is actually pretty closely, related to the Australian Shepherd. Number 2 is Black Lab. Number 3, that one's a little more difficult. That's for
And what was the other one?
Sorry?
You said Black Lab, right?
Yes, that's number 2. Number 3, to me, saying Yellow Lab would be cheating, so I'll go with Golden Retriever.
I might just make yours just Retriever, period. You got the Black Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever, or subspecies, but okay, Golden Retriever. All right, and Kingpin.
Okay, you guys are all wrong. There's only one answer. Yorkie. Period.
Yorkies are cute.
No, Yorkies are the best dogs ever.
Yorkie's not even a dog. It's like calling a corgi a dog.
Well, we already got Corky on the list, so shut up, Tom.
Yeah, you're not part of the
Yeah,
panel.
You can't ask Jason's opinion. He had a pig as a pet.
That's right. I was going to say you didn't ask favorite pet. You said or best pet. You said best dog.
Uh-huh. So, well, you still got 2 more to choose from here, Kingpin.
Yorkie and Yorkie. No, give me Pitbull and Doberman.
Yeah,
I was going to say, don't you have pit bulls?
Yeah,
and you said the other one, Doberman?
yeah.
Ruby's are great dogs, man.
I'm surprised no one said German Shepherd. They're pretty cool too.
I haven't
I like Germans, but that's for decent enough for watchdogs and whatnot. But I tend to like more of a working dog type breed or something I can train to use, hunting.
Okay. Well, I got to give my choices. We had a half husky, half German Shepherd. She looked like a wolf, but she had that husky tail, so I'm going to categorize that under husky. So we got another one for husky. Chihuahua, if you only have one of them.
Yeah, that's for if we're talking mutts. That's for our favorite pet. That would probably be the mutt that I had as a kid. It was a German Shepherd, Husky, and Wolf mix, but the dog only weighed maybe 45 pounds when it was full grown, so it was a tiny little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was such a mutt that it wasn't really any one breed.
Yeah, Chihuahuas are good if you only have one. If you have 2 of them and they don't ever shut, or more, and they don't ever shut up.
I don't know.
They gave my mother one of them, and then she got another one. Then she bought another one. Her boyfriend bought her another one off of them. And when she had just the one, it was fine. She got that second little bastard, and that son of a would not shut up. And he would poo all over the place. He was the worst damn little mutt. I wanted to kill that dog. But, and I still got to pick one more.
I don't know. I had bad experience with Chihuahua. I don't like those dogs.
They'll tear your ankles up if you get in the back of them.
And your fingers.
Oh, man. The one that my mother had given to her by our neighbors, she was she was like this big, full grown. She was really tiny. I could hold her in one hand fully as a fully grown adult.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Chihuahuas. I mean, I've run into some that are decent dogs, but just as a general breed, I'm not a big fan. I mean,
Yeah, the long haired
uh,
Chihuahuas are better than the short hairs, I think.
yeah.
The short haired ones tend to be the more annoying of the two.
When I had all the dogs, I had 2 Pomeranians, a miniature Doberman, 2 pups that were, well, they grew up, but 2 dogs that were half Pomeranian, half miniature Doberman. Then I had the Wolf Husky and I had a boxer. And stepdaughter had a mixed breed. It had a little pit bull in it, but I don't know what it was. It was just so old. All at one time. So it was pretty hectic sometimes. I hate those little dogs when they start to bark.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah, that sounds
cockatoo
like
bird. That was the cockatoo bird or cockatiel or whatever the hell he was the worst of all of them.
I tell you what, though, man, if you want an alarm, a dog that'll act like an alarm if somebody's breaking into your house, Chihuahua's the way to go because their bark is so high pitched.
if they're trained
front
to,
door, you know it.
I mean, if they're trained well and they only bark when someone's right at the door, not so much of a problem. But so many of the ones I've experienced, if they can hear, see, or anything else, someone walking the other side of the street and they start barking, that to me is less useful as a watch animal.
Yeah, mine were trained wonderful to bark if somebody comes in the door or is at the door. They just weren't trained very well to stop barking.
Mine will bark if the wind's blowing
Our
outside.
dogs are exit watchdogs. If a car goes down the road, if the wind blows, we know it.
Yeah, our neighbors, they're I was gonna say pit bulls for some reason. Their Chihuahuas that they were raising, they only barked when somebody came into the door. They didn't need a doorbell. They had 10 Chihuahuas barking in unison.
Oh, that would definitely wake the dead. I mean, I'll give them that.
Yeah, they didn't need a burglar alarm and they didn't need a doorbell.
Mine weren't so like vicious crazy. They were all a bunch of lovey puppies wanting kissy friends, and then anybody comes in the door, you were just swamped with dogs like happy to see you.
Toby pinned up my dad when he came into the house. Pinned him up against the wall. His teeth was showing, and my dad peed himself.
Yeah, their Chihuahuas, even when they would come open the door, they're like pushing them back with their feet because they kept trying to get whoever was at the door, still barking. And like, oh shit, shut up! It's like, you know me by now. And our one neighbor that we used to have in the town we used to live in before we moved out to the other place, and then before we moved here, obviously, they had old police dog, German Shepherd, and that dog would bark at me until I walked up to his pen and started petting him.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I had a bad experience with a boxer at my friend's house, and I knew the boxer, and I reached over to the gate to pet her, and she almost attacked the crap out of me.
Yeah, that's where. Well, I saw in the side chat that Kingpin had to step away for a minute, but that's where. So we've got Rick's. I'm sorry, Rich's, Snob's wife, Blokes, and mine. What we has Jason gone yet?
Yeah, he went. I still have to get my third one. I only did 2. I don't know what to do. I don't know which one we got some good ones on here that I'm debating about. You know what? We had a half German, we had a half Shepherd, half Beagle, so I'm gonna go and put a vote on Beagle as well. So what we got from what we voted on, from the ones we picked, are in first place, we have Husky with 4 votes. And Doberman or Beagle and Beagle are both tied with 2 for second place. All the other breeds all got 1. So there's your top 3 out of just this chat, folks. Husky at number 1, and Beagle and Doberman tied at number 2.
My
I'd say it's pretty
Beagle
good
says
list.
she should be number 1.
Wait, whose beagle was that?
My Beagle. She sat on my lap.
My beagle.
That's what I thought.
Now, to break this tie between the Doberman and Beagle, should we throw it out to the YouTube chat?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, folks. When I type go, give us Beagle or Doberman.
Don't worry, Beagle. They'll vote for you. Don't worry.
How many people do we have watching this show right now, Rich?
It's 7. It's 7 out.
You'd have more people watching if YouTube would show it in your subscriptions tab. I can't even find it. I have to search it every time I look for it.
I got a notification.
I didn't get a notification, and it's not in my subscriptions tab at all.
Yeah,
You might want to check, make sure you're still subscribed and still got the bell mark, because I got a notification.
I am. Yeah.
How long are we going to give them to vote there, Rich?
I already put the stop in there. Beagle was running away with it. So Beagle win. Beagle Husky number 1, Beagle number 2, and Doberman number 3.
Yours didn't count, Snob. It was after stop.
Well, I had to search his channel out to find it.
Beagle had already won, so
That's her, it sounds like, Snob whines more than Chihuahuas do. What's going on with this?
He does.
Beagle,
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Maybe that's the one you need to worry about training, not the dog.
I've tried. He's untrainable, which is pretty bad.
Maybe you just need to have a taser, at hand, so that way when he starts getting out of hand, you can give him another dose.
I'm about to go get some stuff for that airsoft gun.
no, you just get him a shock collar.
Ooh, a shock collar. That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Now, that would be a video you'd need to record and post yourself there, with Snob's wife.
Of course, he would probably get a shock, even in the middle of the night when he's sleeping, just because I had a bad dream about him.
Still be funny.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. I just thought something. We might have more viewers too if Yankee wasn't doing a show. I don't know if he's still on or not.
Oh yeah, he was probably gonna have a probably larger than usual crowd too, because of the subjects. It's kind of not a normal time.
I hadn't actively followed Yankee in a while, but ever since the whole, I don't want to, make this a topic for the night, but ever since his whole thing with NEA and Strange, I really just kind of tuned out that section of the community for a while, simply because they kind of got on my nerves. So I'll go back to listening to him at some point here now and then, but
well, they pretty much moved on. I skipped the latter half of most of their things. As soon as it started, I wasn't interested in the daily videos coming out. But I think everybody's moved on a little bit. I guess it comes down to I would say one of them out of the 3, I'll never ever listen to a thing they ever do again.
Was it you and I were talking about that the other night, Jason, after somebody's show, but none of them were in the right. They all were in the wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it should have been on YouTube or anything at all. It just acts like I said. It acts like the Facebook crap.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as it got took and everything that was done, no. I mean, we don't need any of that, man. Everybody's grown up. Let's move on. And some videos have been put out. They're a good, decent quality video about their normal things or their normal content. It's we can just move away from it.
Yeah, we're under attack enough from other sources. We don't need to be attacking ourselves.
correction, Jason. You would like to think we're all grown up, but if you've seen all the stuff they pulled, you would know that we weren't all grown up. Apparently.
Yeah.
And the person that is, saying that is, let's just say, falls into a similar category.
Hey, I don't pull out. I don't dramatize anything.
Yeah,
Well,
he's not much. Well, I can't say that he's not much about, putting his dirty laundry out there and being a drama queen about stuff.
Well, I'll say one thing. One of the big three I had to stop being a Patreon of a few months ago. It wasn't personal. It wasn't anything. It was just a financial decision. I just decided to spread it around to somebody else, and I figured I'd take away from someone that wouldn't be hurt as much, feel the pinch of it at all, But after everything that went down, and I'd send an email and got an email back, that person got my Patreon back to them. I didn't take it away from anybody else. It just got added to the lists. So I don't have I'll keep supporting the ones, but of course, Hank Strange, I don't care what kind of video and I wasn't a big Hank Strange fan at all before. Nothing personal. I just didn't care for his content. Just like the gun reviews or the things just weren't my thing. They just weren't. But I have no interest in him anymore.
Fair
That's
enough.
my 2 cents.
Jason, you're a good man.
They definitely we're going a little overboard with that whole thing.
To be honest with you, before you guys mentioned, I had no idea who those people were.
I know who Yankee was.
No, I didn't know. And then I did the awful thing and I reviewed it.
Seeing what-
It's a waste of time.
Yep.
Yeah, I can take Yankee in small doses sometimes.
I can handle Yankees produce stuff, but I can't handle his live streams. I just want to watch him.
Well, I mean, being ignorant as I am, who is he?
Yankee's he's a member of Gun Channels, but he really doesn't do anything with Gun Channels, but he does a lot of other stuff. He has been on the record lately of saying that the Yankee Marshal is just a character he plays, but he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes too. Like I don't know if I can say this or not. I'm not going to. But on one thing that I was talking with somebody earlier about, so I'm not going to say, especially since they're not here. But Yankee has helped out other people. I will say that much. He has this thing where you send it to him, and if you can't afford to buy a handgun or what have you, he will, at the end of the month, out of all the emails he receives, he will give one away to somebody. Out of the people that
and
every month,
Every week.
every week now.
Yeah, and that's right. He doesn't actually make the decision as to who gets it. He took a handful of his patrons and assigned them the task of reviewing the emails, reviewing the people, and then deciding who gets it. So it's not him making the choice because he didn't want his bias to play into it.
Yeah, and then he also has where he gets a veteran a gun, and he's done some other things too.
The Yankee runs a successful show, a successful channel, and he provides good entertainment also, but he's going to have the controversy and this and that, or he's going to irritate you or this or that. But when it comes down to it, Yankee's a good guy. He's not an evil guy, and he does so much for charity. But he's running a successful entertainment type, 100% gun, but his little political views and his entertainment, he's running something big and successful, and it is entertaining. Whether you love him or you hate him, you're still watching him. It's entertainment, but he's not evil and mean or anything.
Yeah, I look at him as trying to be the gun community's version of Howard Stern.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right, that puts it in a nutshell. I mean, I can't judge a person because I've never really watched his shows or the other guy's shows. The other two, Hank and the one with the glasses. What's his name?
I've been mad and irritated at Yankee many, many times, you know what I mean? But there's other things, you know, you can sit at Yankee and watch him and smile or even be proud of some of the things he does.
yeah, there's been times where I'll be watching one of Yankee shows and he'll say something and I'll go off on him on YouTube chat without even super chat. 'Cause usually to get his attention, you got to do a super chat or email him directly, where he catches it and the two he's going running at the mouth and I'm typing in YouTube and we're just going back and forth. That's happened a couple of times in the past.
He's very skilled at debate.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check him out. Honestly, like I said, I'm so new to this that the main ones I know is because of close contact. But when you guys, but any of the other bigger channels, I wish I had more time to endeavor in that, but I don't.
Yeah, Rupan says Yankee is an entertaining habitual line stepper. Yeah, he walks right up to that line.
But where would we be without Yankee, man? I said it, you love him, you hate him. You can hate him 1 minute, you can love him the next, or whatever. He's not going to go anywhere. So
He's been around a long time, huh?
Yeah.
One thing he said though that really irritated me was when he said that illegal aliens are just hardworking Americans and paperwork doesn't matter.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, he says a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't, you know, sometimes he's like about anybody else. We all know people in the real world that act like him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
his opinion's right, you're wrong. He's going to try to change yours. But
a lot of it, I think he's just trying to get somebody to bite.
Yeah, you're right. He's a classic debater, but the most definite thing is his live chats are different than his videos that he puts out.
Mm-hmm.
And he really does. I think he does a great job on his videos.
Yeah, if you're going to watch anything of Yankee, watch his older videos. They are downright funny.
Yeah.
His newer stuff isn't anywhere near as funny as what he used to be. His older stuff is hilarious.
He should have one chat a week, him and Gary.
You know, I watched. I had the fortune to watch Mac on. It's called Super Chat, and I didn't even know that existed. But somebody said you have to have 1,000 subscribers for that.
Yeah, that's where you have to receive super chats. I think you have to be monetized, don't you? And that's
you
for
have to be monetized.
X number of view minutes a month. And
yeah, people were donating right there on the channel. You know, 10, 20, 30 bucks. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people throw $150 at Yankee in super chat.
Oh yeah, if Snob would have done a show this week, he might have got a super chat.
If Snob hadn't been sick, he would have done a show.
He hasn't, yeah.
I was asleep last night at that time.
We got back from Tulsa probably about 6, and he went to bed, and he didn't get up until 9. Well, about 9:30. He hasn't been feeling very well.
Yeah, I think the craziest super chat I've ever seen on any of the shows that I watch was on Wrestle Talk, which is a pro wrestling channel. Somebody threw a 1,000-pound note at him in the super chat.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what would be a good idea for Snob. Now, if he sings on his show, I'm sure he will get a lot of super chats just asking him to stop.
Yeah. Send me a super chat and I'll stop singing.
He should have a big show and we play it like Name That Tune. Snob can give us part of a song and we got to guess what it is.
We would never guess it.
You'd never guess it, and also I only know small parts of songs, and usually I change the words a little bit because I don't remember them exactly.
See, that's perfect.
No, I'm saying we wouldn't guess it because we wouldn't even recognize the tune.
Yeah, you're probably right.
yeah, that's for I'll be the first one to admit I can't sing. That's why I don't do it, in public. That's for if I'm singing. It's usually if I'm driving and I'll be singing along the radio. But that's for my fiance can back it me up on when I say that's true. If it wasn't on the radio at the time, you wouldn't know what the heck song it was supposed to be.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's nice to sing as a kid. My mother used to make me take out the trash.
You want to see a bunch of people that can't sing? Look for the episode on Sarge's show where it was Boomer's birthday.
Oh, that was great.
What was it?
Boomer's birthday when I about burnt my office down.
Oh yeah.
Bloke should really go back and watch the beginning of that one.
Yes.
When was
Do you
that?
have a rough estimation as to when that show was?
I'll go back and look and tell you.
Yeah, that was a few months ago.
I'd love to watch that.
That's true. I haven't seen Boomer around a whole lot of them.
Hughes last night on his live stream. He just sent me a text.
Nobody had sent me the memo, right, about what we were doing that night. So everybody else has like a cake or a cupcake or something. I had nothing. So my wife had just bought donuts that morning, so I run out to the kitchen. I get an apple fritter with a candle in it.
What did I get? Did I get a cake or?
I got cupcakes.
Was that
We bought
cupcakes?
cupcakes.
Oh yeah, I did.
Boomer's birthday is February 23rd, just by the way.
Okay, I'll have to look in the late February chats then.
I'll find it. And
Yeah, we did it on. It was on his birthday. It was February 23rd. That's when his birthday was because we did it his birthday.
yeah.
This is August, isn't it?
Yes, this is August
Yeah. Oh,
for the
crap.
whole month.
My birthday is this month.
I'm pretty sure the thumbnail for it is my office almost on fire.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
was.
that was special. The way I mean, I don't know what you were using as the accelerant for that candle.
It was that we had every single,
Like 42.
however old he was, we had every single candle on that cupcake.
You still had to have some kind of accelerant. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Well, those candles were so close together, they were just making one big flame.
Oh, it's not the thumbnail. He made a thumbnail for it. Hold on, I'll send it. And then Rich can show it. The cool thing about this on StreamYard, you can show it with sound.
Well, you can show it. You can screen share, and I can just put it up.
I'd love to see. Yeah, screen.
Well, we probably don't know how. I'm sending it to you.
Yeah. Stacy can screen share, and then I can put it up.
Yeah, I need to learn how to screen share. I've never.
It's right down there at the bottom. Just click the screen share button, and pull up whatever window.
I've tried it messing around, and it has like all these different windows, and I just haven't messed around with it. I just.
Rich, when's your birthday?
When was my birthday? Mine was March 15th.
How about you, Jason?
When's my birthday?
Yeah, man.
It's in January.
Date?
Oh, well, the 9th.
Kingpin?
11277.
How about you, Clever?
Huh?
When's your birthday, Stacy?
October 9th.
In Caliber?
Huh?
Caliber.
Well,
Calaveras. That's for early March, and that's about as much detail as I'm willing to give.
Uh-huh. Look at these youngins, won't even give us their birthdays.
All you have to do if you really want to know is just ask Gary. He'll figure it out. He's like an internet sleuth.
Yeah,
Very
he found Snob's MySpace from like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah, didn't he post a picture up on the StreamYard?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know, if you put it on the internet, it's there forever.
Yeah, Gary's up there on the YouTube side. I don't remember if I sent him a link or not. I think I did.
All right. Did you get that email?
It's the curse. I always forget to send somebody one, but I'm pretty sure I sent Gary one.
Hang on, I'm gonna try to screen share this for her. I'm gonna show her how in the process.
Okay, yeah, you did. Okay, I just checked my email and saw that you gave me the link to that video. So what am I supposed to do? Show the whole video or just the first part? And Sergeant is going to give me a nice copyright strike, I hope. Yeah, let me stop that. Okay. I lost my tab. There it is. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, I know. Don't show it again. I keep clicking don't show it again, and it still shows the damn thing. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Now, screen sharing. Don't you just love the infinite screens? All right. So everybody's seeing this. Wait, am I set up right? I gotta go. I hate this because you gotta go over here and then go. Okay, it's showing right. I'll get this figured out sooner or later, folks. All right.
Announcement to make this week. If they didn't realize, it is none other than Boomer's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Boomer. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, that's great.
Holy cow!
I started that before it went live. There you go. By the way, that is the correct number of candles on here. 26 candles. That was hilarious.
That was a serious fireball.
Holy moly.
Snob's wife some conversation.
So, how was that? Thank you very much. That was fantastically awesome. Hey, Boomer. Oh my God.
So that was that.
That's insane.
And I think we lost Stacy. I think she might be backstage. You might have to let her back in.
Yep.
There you go.
I clicked the wrong button when I came over to the computer because I was gonna find.
He didn't make another tab. He just went into my email on the same page that the StreamYard was on.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he was 46 because that took a lot of candles. I just remember that.
Yeah.
And what's bad is I lit them and Sarge is like, just say when you're ready. And I'm like typing in the private chat, ready.
Yeah, that was funny when that was happening.
Oh, man. Yeah. Seven Wonders. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I was laughing just rewatching it now.
Where's he been anyway? I haven't seen Boomer in a while.
Boomer's been Ubering.
Yeah, he's been Ubering.
Really?
He got the Uber bug.
Pledge Uber mode.
I haven't seen him in a
Oh,
while.
that's right. Didn't he buy a car so he could start Ubering and he was having to try to make enough every month to pay for the car payment?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Well, at first he was just using somebody else's car and he was just making a percentage of it. Like this rental thing. And then he ended up buying his own car to do it. He decided he could make more.
You want to give a quick description about what this channel is about and what we do here, Rich? Do so, I guess is how you pronounce it. Dude Esquire out in the chat says, what's this channel about / what do we do?
Firearms, politics, and whatever else comes to mind. That's basically what we do. We have firearms discussions and stuff like that. Dude Esquire, he said.
And a whole lot of nonsense.
Yeah, and a whole lot of nonsense. Like I don't know if you were in the room when we were just showing the clip from a past show. Yes, we talked politics of firearms too.
Hopefully.
Talking balls from that. I'm guessing they're new to the channel as well.
Hmm.
So, welcome it to the new people.
I have a feeling that might be fake.
Maybe. I don't know.
It would be Hunan if it was fake.
Ooh, that's narrows down to 2 people I can think of.
There's a lot of people with that Hunan lately. Lots of different variations on that showing up.
I saw one that was Hunan 101.
There was somebody on Match that was Hunan Muhammad or something like that.
Yeah, but then there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them running around.
Doesn't that didn't that originate from the whole fiasco?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Right, gents. I miss the Spanish obnoxious one. Cotton balls.
Somebody typing Morse code.
Hey, David, were you the lucky winner of the Jack giveaway?
Yeah, I won the first drawing, and even better than that, Big Al. Which, if nobody knows who Big Al is, you're missing out. Probably one of the top guys in the entire planet. But he won the second one. I won a 5.56 pistol upper, complete Bear Creek upper, and then Milcert Mike is another, really good brother from the Reloaders Network and Gun Channels affiliate. He threw in a complete lower, so I basically won a complete AR pistol.
Wow.
You lucky SOB.
Oh, you deserve it, David.
Yeah, you
Congrats, man.
When I sent Scotsman a note with my donation, and I told him, don't enter me into the contest, put somebody else's name in or put your name in. And then later on, he did the drawing, and I saw the video come up. I didn't have a chance to watch it. And then later on that day, I was on Instagram, and people were telling me that I won. So I went back and checked it out, and was like, the Scotsman put my name in anyway.
Congratulations.
Are you allowed an AR pistol there in Maryland?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's true. Because I don't think they're allowed here, and I know the laws in Maryland aren't a whole lot better than California. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah, no, we're allowed to have AR pistols here.
So you say it's with the lower being donated to, boss. So you have a complete pistol. You don't need any parts or braces or anything to make it work. It's ready to go.
As far as I understand, because I haven't talked to Milcert Mike about it yet. Well, I've been emailing him back and forth, but I didn't go into detail. I just heard it was a complete lower. So as far as I know, it's got a stock or brace or whatever you would call it on the pistol and everything. Scotsman said that the barrel should be at my house Monday, which is tomorrow. And then my FFL will call me when the lower, and then I'll have to wait 7 days to get it.
Well, congratulations, man. You definitely deserve it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Man, that was a 5.56 one, right?
Yeah, 5.56. Yeah, and it was worth it. Scotsman. If he called me right now, I'd be in a car headed to Ohio, because that's the kind of thing he would do. So if he asked for help, then I definitely want to be involved in helping. And he happened to put my name in the drawing, so I'm not going to turn it down.
Yeah, Scotsman's a good guy. A little eccentric, but he's a good guy.
Yeah. He does this thing all the time when somebody needs help or something. He's out there getting hold of sponsors and stuff, trying to get some kind of fundraiser going to help people out.
The way I would describe Scotsman is like if we're all sitting here and a friend says, "Hey, I need help," we'd all be sitting here trying to figure out what to do while he's already gone doing it.
Yep.
You know, that he doesn't sit around and wait to think and talk and figure out what to do. He just gets in his bike and goes.
Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about him. I asked him for a little bit of advice, and within 10 minutes, we're chit chatting on the phone, man. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a question out there from Dude Esquire. He wants to know a good state close to Nevada to move to because California sucks. I would say Arizona.
Yep, Arizona.
If you're, depending what part of California you're from, depending on whether you're used to, either northern Arizona tends to be on the cooler side in the mountain areas, and then then you get down to the desert in southern Arizona, mid southern Arizona.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are moving out of California right now just because of they're to register your ammo.
Yeah.
Well, that's for the ammo is an issue, but also the just cost of living in this state is higher than a lot of other states are as well. And of course, pay scale is going to be higher in California than a lot of others. But if you look at it as a percentage of average income to a cost of living, it's still not not a great percentage.
Yeah, I was looking in California for a little bit of a travel work, and a job opportunity popped up. So I was checking pricing of houses, and for a 1,300 square foot home was like close to 900,000.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in California?
Trying to remember now. I have to look in my email.
Yeah, that's because I'm in the Sacramento area, so northern, kind of middle, upper northern end of the central section, and the cost of housing, in this area went up like 25 or 30% in like 2 years, in part because of the Bay Area is too expensive for a lot of people to live. So they've moved inland towards us because they can still kind of commute in, as well as there was a number of large fires, within an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, that decimated, the housing in certain areas. So they, a lot of people move in this direction because of that. So it's just kind of a snowball effect, and the fact that our regulations and our laws and everything else making it difficult to build. They're not constructing nearly enough new homes or even rebuilding, destroyed homes to really keep up with the population growth.
Yeah, it's to sell and get out of there.
Yeah, that's what the San Francisco Bay Area, San Jose more specifically, because that's one of the cities that kind of rings the bay. Became the last year I think it was became the first city in the country where the median home price or the average home price broke the 1 million mark.
Yeah. I have a colleague of mine who's near Sacramento. I think it's Sacramento. And he has 3 jobs to pay his house.
Yeah. Kingpin also mentioned Utah. Problem with Utah is most of that state is federally owned land. If you want any kind of land or anything in Utah, it's hard to find. It's easier to find land and stuff like that in Arizona than it is like in Utah.
Yeah, Nevada and Utah both have that issue where vast sections of the state is actually owned by the feds, which
something like 90% of Utah is federal property. So
and I think in Nevada is like 70 or 80. That's where I have to wonder why in the heck does the feds need to own that much of a percentage of any given state?
Well, Utah's got that big salt flat and everything. It's like a lot of Utah's not really all that habitable to begin with. So,
yeah, you can ask Deadhorse about that one because he lives in Utah. What exact part, I'm not sure, but
I just checked over on Gun Channels. He's not there. I was going to ask him about that, but he's not over there. So, if you wanted to talk about Utah, I was going to see if you wanted a link to jump in and you could answer questions about Utah. But since he's not there, can't do that.
Good country.
Another one, if you're not too adverse to cold weather, Idaho would be a good one too.
Yeah, that's where cost of living there's quite a bit lower than it is in a lot of other places.
Yeah.
And roughly, what do you do for a living there, Bloke?
I'm a therapist.
Therapist, like physical therapist or emotional therapist?
So right now, I'm considered a CODA, occupational therapy assistant. I'm currently in grad school for my master's in occupational therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar to physical therapy, but we work more functional.
Right, and that's where I just broke it down into those two categories because that's my understanding is limited. So that's kind of the two categories I can kind of wrap my head around. So that's what I was.
Yeah. We do. We don't work on. People say that occupational therapy is upper and physical therapy is lower. That's actually incorrect. Functionally, we work on task-specific functions, whether it be bathing, grooming, dressing, therapy for strokes, traumatic brain injuries, and any type of traumatic injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's a comment that Goose Squire just made. Basically, he went out on account of the laws and how it's being run, and because of what they just did with the ammo and stuff. So yeah, Arizona, Utah, Idaho would all be good states with good gun laws if you're looking to not move too far from California. Like if you have family that you need to get there to see on a regular basis or whatnot, all three of those states are close to California, and all three have good gun laws.
Yeah, avoid Nevada because there's a lot of Californians moving to Nevada, especially the greater Reno area and the greater Las Vegas area, and they're really turning that state purple.
Well, that's expensive too, man.
Well, compared to California, it's not. It's like 25% less or something. But
Yeah,
compared to other states in the union, yes.
Yeah, it depends on what part of Nevada you're at. If you're in Reno or Las Vegas, the prices of living are going to be higher than if you're in one of the small towns that are farther away from those areas.
Which is the same anywhere you are, because I mean, even when I lived in California, San Jose was always been high, but if you lived in the Central Valley and the smaller farming communities, it was cheaper. If you lived more inland and lived in there, so it's like that everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quote unquote less desirable areas.
Yeah.
And depending on what you do for a living, though, you may have to live near one of the bigger cities. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Bington said, "Don't move to Maryland."
Yeah, don't. Well, if he's trying to stay near California, that would be pointless anyway. But yeah, Maryland's almost, it's not just as bad as California at this point. They don't have this silly ammo law, but that's the only difference, really.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see what the changes are going to be here soon with Trump's new laws.
Well, yeah, that's for everything that's happened over the last 7 days. Supposedly the administration is going to start releasing some statements and some ideas here early this next week, and I'm not exactly looking forward to that.
Well, Snob said, "Dang it, I was moving to Maryland this weekend. Did you know about that station?" For the new people out there who don't know, the one that's got their name listed as Orange Man Bad is the Gun Snob's wife. For the new people out there.
I don't claim him. And I'm perfectly willing. I just told him I would pack his bag so he can go to Maryland. But, his guns, I'm sorry to say, are staying here.
Well, most of them that he has probably wouldn't be legal in Maryland. So, yeah, of course you have to hold him in confidence for him.
Exactly. And my dogs. He can take the kids. My dogs and the gun stays.
Yeah, the problem with Maryland's a beautiful state except for Baltimore. But the problem with Maryland is the people, particularly in the Baltimore DC corridor, with the exception of Kingpin, obviously. Those people are just destroying that state.
Good seafood there.
Well, most of the coastal states have good seafood.
Right, yeah, I do live in Florida.
Yeah, but Maryland's got the best seafood in the country, hands down.
Yeah.
I've definitely never been to New Orleans.
Yeah, I've been to New Orleans. They got good crawfish broils and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to crab, lobster, fish, shrimp, anything like that,
Gator.
Yeah, I stay.
Probably a seafood because we have like the saltwater swampy things down there. Would that count as seafood?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Kingpin was mentioning, shrimp. Are you going to start going full Bubba on us and start listing off all the different kinds of shrimp?
I mean, I can if you want me to. Steamed shrimp.
The problem with New Orleans, man, it's the streets there stink of pee.
And throw up. Don't forget to throw up.
Yeah, don't forget to throw up. Oh my God.
And he's not being like sarcastic. It literally smells like a urinal.
Whoops, we lost Kingpin again.
Well, that's kind of like San Francisco out here. It smells like human waste, and you have to be careful where you walk for the dirty syringes on the ground.
Oh, sounds like my bedroom.
I missed what was said. What was said?
Talking about because they were talking about how New Orleans smells like a porta potty. So I said San Francisco is the same, except you also have to watch out for the dirty needles on the ground.
Yeah.
And human feces.
Okay.
Yeah, that does sound like snob. With the exception of the needle, that sounds exactly like snob.
Yeah. You want to finish what you were telling us, Kingpin, before you got down to Maryland? Unceremonially booted.
Yeah. If you walk into a urinal on like 100-degree day on a job site with like 50 people, that's a good balance of what these streets in New Orleans smell like.
I ain't going to New Orleans then. I can't stand porta potty smell. No.
I've never been there.
I've been a couple times, and the district is bad. It just stinks. Don't go off the beaten path. Got some voodoo stuff going on there. But the food is good.
Yeah, the farthest east I've ever been is Denver, so I don't know about New Orleans.
Yeah, it's a.
Did you say the furthest east you ever been to Denver? You realize Denver's in the west, right?
Yes, I know, but that gives you a
But
point
it's
of
east of California.
Yeah, that's for November when I drive out to Tulsa to see the Gun Channels crew. That'll be a new marker for me as far as east.
So you're still planning on coming out in November?
Driving out with my dad and potentially California Bell's dad will be coming with us.
Is Belle not coming?
Sorry?
Is Belle not coming?
No, she's not this trip. Maybe if we can head out there again next year or maybe the year after that, she might come with me.
Okay.
Who else is going?
With me or total?
No, total on the panel.
I'm sorry, we're going where?
Tulsa Arm Show.
When, November or April?
It's a really far drive for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, are we talking November this year or April next year?
November this year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make that one.
I think I'll be there.
In November?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. It'll be my last free time because come January, I'm working for free for 6 months.
I just spent half the day in Tulsa yesterday.
Would have spent longer, but I got sick.
And
that's true. I'm hoping there's a nice turnout because that's where it'll be the first chance I've had, to meet up with the Gun Channels crew in person. So that'll be a nice trip.
Yeah, I don't know who's all coming in November. Usually the better turnouts in April, but we still have quite a few people in November.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a couple of places to stay around there.
Yeah, getting back to Dude Esquire's what he was asking, he says he doesn't like the cold, but his brother likes it. So if you like a temperate type climate, northern Arizona, you can have you'll get snow in winter, but in the summer you'll have warmer weather, so it'll be like a trade-off, like if you're living back east kind of situation.
That's you're talking like north of Flagstaff there, right, Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Arizona has like 4 different climate zones.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's everything there. So
yeah, if you live down there where G does, down near the border, from what I understand, it's like Dante's Inferno. But
yeah, that's the desert. The desert gets hot, but if his brother likes the cold and he likes warmer weather, I mean, like northern Arizona might just be the perfect area for them. One of them gets what they want for half the year, and the other one gets what they want for half the year.
My brothers and my dad, well, my stepmom, they live in Phoenix, and if you're like you say, if you're in the northern part of the state, you get weather like out east here. You know what I mean? In the summer, but boy, Phoenix sure is a hot place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only time I've ever been to Phoenix was for a NASCAR race. So I was there for
Nice.
about 4 days, and that was it.
Nice. Yeah. There's no such thing as shade in
Yeah, desert.
most of
Unless it's
Arizona.
man-made.
Yeah, you get into the desert, you're not going to find a whole lot of shade.
Jason, that's the one thing I don't miss about Ohio is that
But
cold. Oh my God.
Well, we don't get cold anymore.
Yeah, the thing
Global
with
warming.
Arizona, when it gets hot, unlike here on the East Coast, they don't have the damn humidity that we have.
Yeah.
We do have
Yeah. Heck, even here in Central California, that's for just a ridiculous summer day will be 110, but the humidity will be single digits, so it's doable. It's the East Coast right here, like, oh, it's only 98 degrees, but with the heat index, it's 130. It's like, heck no, I'm good. I don't need that.
Yeah, your thermometer could be reading 95, 98, somewhere in that range. But when you add in the humidity factor and the fact that the humidity is amplifying the sunlight when it's hitting you, it gets the feeling to be 110, 115, 120. Easy.
The last time I was in Phoenix, it was like 112, 113 every single day. And what you notice different there than being here in Ohio is the wind out there is hot. It's like a hair dryer here. You get hot air in the wind, but really being out there at like an insane 112 degrees, everything's still functioning. They tend to do more in the nighttime out there in the daytime, but I mean, it's not intolerable. But back here in Ohio, if you hit 95 degrees here, it's just flat miserable,
Yeah.
So
They don't have that humidity.
makes a difference.
I don't even want to hear y'all whine about humidity. Welcome to
We get humidity just like you do.
Oh yeah, it's been bad here.
Yeah, we get.
Rich and I live in the middle of the forest and a mountain, so we get all kinds of ridiculous humidity. But I love it.
Yeah.
The hotter, the better.
No.
Yeah, we get the humidity plus the intense sun of being pretty much southern U.S.
Well, we did have our flood season this year.
Now that is true. The amount of that's one thing that you have to take into consideration when you're moving around is the sunshine is drastically different each state you go in. Like if you go to Florida and you take your shirt off, you're sunburnt. I don't care who you are. You can walk around Maryland with your shirt off and maybe not get totally sunburnt, but you try that in Florida or Oklahoma, like Snob was saying, you're in trouble.
Well,
I think if I take my shirt off in Florida, I'm probably gonna get arrested.
No, it depends where though.
Yeah,
If you go
it depends on where you go.
Yeah, Key West is clothing optional.
Ooh, Snob, I'm going to Key West.
But
No, you're not
don't fool yourself. I mean, here on the even in West Virginia, Maryland, we get days where you walk outside and you're drenched instantly, and it's not raining.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. We got all these trees making the rainforest around our houses, Rich.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
One of the neatest things I ever saw is when I drove out to Phoenix from here, and to experience getting into different states and their territory and their terrain. And it's like you're just saying, the sunlight and everything's different depending on where you live. But when you cut through across top of Texas and you go to hit New Mexico, you go at the top of like a small hill and there's a sign that says, welcome to New Mexico. If you look left and right, I mean, it's way open country. There's nothing blocking your view like us out east here. You don't understand. Out west, it is so flat and so open, you can just see for miles. But when you get to that very point across from Texas to New Mexico and you look left and right, it is like somebody exactly drew a line, and you're a little green over here on Texas, and then from everywhere else on out, it's like instant Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, Billy the Kid, just like instant terrain is different for all the way out.
The bad thing about Florida, you got to understand, Florida is a swamp. It's swamp roads and
Florida's all landfill.
It's exactly. It's all it is, and it's also the flattest state. We discussed this on a different panel.
That's where I've talked to people that have visited from other countries, and especially people that come in from like Europe, and that's when they come to the U.S. and especially if they do any kind of road trips anywhere, it blows them away with, especially out west here. It's like, yeah, you just drove 9 hours, you didn't leave the state, and you saw 4 different ecosystems, and it just blows them away the fact that you can do that.
Yeah, I tell you, when I think the biggest thing that affected me when I first came to this country was how big your guys' cars are. Well, our cars are.
Oh, well, you missed out because in the 70s and 80s, we had big cars, good cars.
My dad had, I got a picture of it. I can't remember what kind. It was a Buick. And this thing was so long when he picked me up from the airport. I've never seen a car that big in my entire life.
Oh, our cars used to be wide. I mean, wide. Like the roads aren't built today to handle the wide cars that we used to have.
Yeah.
Well, that's where your standard, as a civil engineer, I deal with this all the time. A standard interstate is designed with a 12-foot wide lane, and there were especially early in the mid 70s, there were some of those Cadillacs and Buicks. The cars were 11 feet wide and like 23 feet long. That's where they were just massive pieces of machinery.
Oh, even before that, I mean, you go back to the 50s and late 50s, early 60s. Look at the Cadillac Eldorado with the big fins and everything. Those things were huge.
Yeah, well, back in the day, you could sit on your car. All of you, all your friends, you could go out and sit on the fenders, the hood, whatever. Nothing happened. You didn't dent anything. You know what I mean?
And they actually had engines that had some power back then too.
Yeah, they were built out of steel.
I saw just here a couple years ago. It was like probably a late 60s, like 1-ton van that got in a fender bender with, it would have been like a late 2000s, not quite 2010 car. Holy cow, can you say, the new car crushed like a beer can.
Oh, yeah.
If you got the opportunity, which most of us don't because it's super expensive, but you take, say, like a 69 Corvette or any 60s and 50s, 40s, 30s vehicle period and send it over to London, and you could almost double your money on it. So if your vet's worth $30,000 here, you could get a cool $40,000, $50,000 for it overseas.
We have cars over here that they wouldn't even fit in on their roads.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them, like the Corvette, it wouldn't pass England's emissions, so they got to get special permits and stuff to bring it over there. That's another reason why it goes up. Plus, they're just not over there; they didn't get it imported.
Yeah, it would be funny trying to see somebody get like a '62 Eldorado down some of those roads over there in England.
Oh, there's no way, especially in London. Now, in central London, you have to pay money to actually drive into central London, kind of like a toll. But the roads there are still, from the 1800s, so they're still very narrow. There's no way an Eldorado or one of those big Cadillacs or Buicks would ever fit down there.
Well, some of the roads in this country are from back then. The thing is, you didn't have the big stagecoaches and stuff that we have here either. Our roads were built big from the get-go because we had those big carts and everything that you guys didn't have.
Well, that's where I was talking to a foreign exchange student from France, and she was talking about that's where some of the older within the Citadel areas of some of those French cities that were built literally for either person in a mule or a person with a hand cart, and that's where Nowadays, the roads are so narrow; they're not even one-way roads anymore. They've had to close them down to vehicles because they can't fit anything bigger than a modern car.
That and the roads in France are terrible. That's why they've got some of the best suspension in the world, like the Citroen. You don't feel anything going over the road on that. Like the Renault, they call them the Renault. They got such great suspension because most of their roads in France, they still got a lot of brick in them, you know?
Yeah, they still got cobblestones and all that.
A lot of it came out of necessity as well too, because when they settled the United States, they had a vast landscape that they had to go try to cross.
Oh yeah, towns, they would have cavalry riding through town six wide on their horses, you know.
Yeah, and like Rich was saying, there's a long distance to travel and a lot of people to get through that distance. So we can't have skinny roads where a lot of the roadways and pathways and passageways and stuff in Europe were already built at that time. And then by the time the car came around, we designed our roads around that type of vehicle, specifically, where once again, European roads were catching up and they were already built. So they were just basically getting redone, but just as small.
Yeah, or like some of the old, there are still some of the roads in Italy and some of the places right around it that are still from the Romans built the dang things.
Oh yeah. So if you go to my family's from a tiny island called Malta, and the roads
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they haven't changed. So there's no way that you could travel around that city in anything but a compact car, and plus they drive nuts anyway.
Well, and World War I and World War II destroyed Europe. For the first half of the 19th century, it was completely under war pretty much anywhere you would go. So they didn't have the resources, the time, the manpower, or the necessity really, because you're spending too much time trying not to get Nazified to build a better road.
Oh yeah. There's there's a church there in it's called Hamrun in the major city there, and a lot of people are hiding. And when the bomb hit, it didn't explode, so they consider it sacred. It's taken apart, but you can still go there and see the bomb. Pretty interesting. Ruben X said Boston roads are freaking insane. Cowpats.
Yeah, the roads up there are crazy. I know that from going to Fort Devens when I was in a junior ROTC for summer camp. Yeah, they get some bad roads up there in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we flew into Rhode Island and we went to Worcester. I said that right, didn't I, Ruben? There's no lines in the roads. Worcester. Good seafood there too.
Did somebody just say Woodstock?
Say what, Kingpin?
Did somebody just say Woodstock?
No, Worcester.
Worcester.
Oh, Worcester. Oh, yeah.
Worcester.
You got to get Rupan in here for that.
No, he said we're saying it right. Worcester.
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 Good seafood, terrible roads. And really bloody cold.
Yeah, that's where the Northeast is known for getting pretty cold in the winter. That's another with what's his name was asking me about places to move around to get out of California. It's hard to find somewhere with climate similar to ours. But here in Sacramento, of course, I'm from up the hill a little ways, so that's to me cold and a little different. But I know people that are born and raised here in Sacramento, if it drops below about 40 degrees, they freak out. And if it actually, God forbid, the once or twice in a year that it drops below 32 degrees, air temp, and you would think the world's coming to an end.
Well, a lot of people don't realize here in Florida too, once in a blue moon, it does get down to 32 degrees. And,
that must be pitiful. Once in a blue moon.
Well,
the house is built at the Georgia border, like Texas and stuff. They get cold weather up there.
It gets cold.
Yeah. Well, that's where the citrus farmers are always freaking out. Oh my God!
What was our words like?
Negative 27.
Yeah, we had negative 27.
We've hit that before, but not lately. I think this past winter, the coldest we got was a negative 15, negative 20 something with the wind chill.
Did we hit
Well, that's
negative last one? I don't think we
I
did.
don't think we did. We didn't have.
That's what I was trying to make the point of. That's where cold is relative. That's where, because people here in Sacramento are thin-blooded and they freak out when it's not even cold yet and they're freaking out. That's where I have extended family that live in in Thunder Bay, Canada, which is right on the north edge of Lake Superior. And like my grandparents talk about, the last winter before they left Canada, with the wind chill was 75 below.
Nope, not going there.
No, thank you.
Why do you think they moved to California?
Hey,
Well, I'm okay with the cold. Now, negative, I prefer it not to be negative.
The
But I'm
only
okay
time
with
I go-
cold, and I'm not okay with ice.
the only time I go
like cold. I live in a cold state.
Yeah, the only time I go near ice or negative is when I open my freezer door. That's it. And
Well,
I-
get in the freezer and stay in there for about an hour or so, and we'll see how you are when you come out.
nope.
Jason, you were going to say something?
Yeah, when you get to when your winter hits and it's like negative 10 degrees or just below zero in general, how much of that do you actually have? Around here, we get that every year, but it's only for like 1 week out of the winter.
It depends. It varies from. It
Jason,
really varies.
You
I was
got
there.
6 months of that stuff.
I was
Yeah,
there.
it's
during the blizzard.
crappy. It's crappy as can be for like 6 months around here.
Oh,
No, we haven't had good snowfall here for years now. We don't get our white Christmases anymore. I mean, we just have cold winters and like a long spring this year, but we don't get hit with continuously cold sub-zero weather at all anymore.
We
It's
got
only
hit
like
with
a week.
we got hit with a ton of snow in March this year.
Yeah,
we did.
And we always get our snow.
I don't know. That one year we got the blizzard like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
That was like the only, I think, white Christmas I think since I've lived here, which is, almost 15 years. I think we only had the one white Christmas. But
Yeah,
Yeah, it hasn't snowed very much around Christmas around here. We had a little bit of a dusting, but that was about it around Christmas time.
Well, we
This
were at-
last
we-
winter-
Mostly ice. Like the past few years, it's been mostly ice that we've been getting.
Well,
Yeah, this last winter, the states I felt sorry for the most were like Nebraska, northern Wyoming, and
Oh man, that
southern.
blizzard they got. When was that? Late March, early April, when they got that massive blizzard to cause all
They
the
had-
flooding and everything.
They had two of them in a row. That's what
Yeah.
they referred to them as. It looked like a hurricane, but it was a snowstorm. That's what they called it, the bomb cyclone. That's where I was watching the weather reports on that. It's like, holy cow!
Yeah, it turned most of the state of Nebraska into a lake.
Well, I remember back in I think it was I think it was 07 when we had the really bad ice storm. And I mean, it was just horrible. I mean, it lasted for weeks. We had
I
ice
was without power for 7 days and 3 hours exactly.
and I worked on an ambulance back then. And so you can imagine the calls we go in and half the time we were trying to turn in somewhere and we would slide. I mean, it was horrible time to drive an ambulance to try to get calls and you're on these county country roads. And it was horrible. And I was dispatching. And so even when I was dispatching, we
Are
had
you
no
guys
power.
allowed to run studded tires or anything like that when the weather gets like that?
Oh yeah.
Because I know
We
there's, I've heard some of those states that's where they get ice every year, but it tears up roads, so no snow chains and no studded tires. It's like,
We
oh great,
had
you're
anything
asking
like that.
everybody to go ice skating.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
You guys remember back when was it 2005 when they had that storm they were calling the land hurricane that came across the mid-Atlantic region?
yeah.
Yeah, well, I was standing outside and I literally was watching it coming at me. And we were without power for a few days from that one. Trees were all knocked down. The tree almost hit our bathroom where we were living at the time. I mean, if it would have fell instead of getting caught by one of the other trees, it would have went right through our bathroom.
I don't know, but it gets really expensive to run a generator every day, 24 hours a day for 7 whole days.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Dew Squire who said it snowed here in the Central Valley twice in the 2 decades I've been here.
Yeah,
And
I saw that. I didn't know if I wanted to comment on that or not.
It's only snowed
for-
once. I'm from the Central Valley. I'm from Visalia, and it's
Yeah,
only
it's from Central Valley. I want to know what part of the Central Valley he's from.
yeah. I'm not sure. I was from Visalia, but it did snow there. We got maybe just an inch or two, just a dusting, and it was probably I think around 95, 96, and it literally shut the valley down because
Oh, yeah.
no one knew how to drive in snow.
Well, if Dude Squire, if you're talking about when we had the land hurricane come across, that was in the summer. That was in June, late June, early July, I want to say. And that was a whole bunch of wind and rain. But yeah, we haven't gotten snowed in where we live now because we live in a townhouse complex now. But where we used to live, we lived back in the woods, essentially. And on my wife's family's land, they had a few houses and whatnot back at Dirt Road, and we had our own gun range and stuff there. But we get a lot of snow there. Yeah, we'd be snowed in for days.
So near Tracy, that's a little bit more north than I was. You're near Manteca, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't remember that. That snowstorm. That's for. I know my dad talks about he was in his late teens one time. He was living down in Santa Cruz for a short time, and he remembers there being snow on the beach in Santa Cruz and watching the waves lap at the snow on the beach.
Nope.
It wasn't 2005. I don't know why it said 2005. Somebody up there said 2003, something 2005. This was around 2012. The land hurricane came through. That's when that was. It was 2000. I think it was 2011, 2012, somewhere in that area. But it was this big thing that everybody was like freaking out about because nobody knew what the hell to categorize it as. Because it was a big, massive storm, came down off the Great Lakes or something. But it behaved just like a hurricane, but it didn't form over the ocean.
That's about the only thing we have to worry about here in Florida is hurricanes.
Yeah, and it had hurricane force winds. I mean, when it got to where we were, if it would have been a hurricane, it would have been a Category 4 bordering on a Category 5. I mean, it was strong winds.
Yeah.
I thought Cat 5 was like a 200-mile-an-hour wind.
No, that's like 150, 160.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Maybe it's more than that. Hold on, let me see.
We like our hurricanes in small funnel shapes.
That's called a tornado, and they're caused by hurricanes.
If you want to see a tornado, all you have to do is drive to Tampa, and usually you see them out in the evening, small ones.
Yeah, you guys don't have those real tornadoes like we have, though, that destroy whole towns.
No, we just got hurricanes. That's it.
Yeah, we used to get those in southwestern Pennsylvania. You get up into like Butler County where it starts flattening out, or Somerset, where even though it's in the hills, it's still flat because it's like a plateau right there. They get hurt tornadoes there, and they'll cause a whole bunch of destruction. Luckily, like Somerset County is mostly all farmland, so it doesn't really do any damage to any buildings or anything at the time. But you can, when they touch down, you can see where the path of the tornado went. You just follow the trail.
See, I'm one of the ones that's going to be outside watching it and looking for it.
I just came up with your new channel name,
What?
Stacy Storm Watcher.
I like it.
Yeah, I know here a couple of years ago, in the Sacramento area, they had, people were freaking out like, oh my God, there was an F-0 tornado that was on the ground for like 45 seconds. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? That's not even newsworthy. It loosened some shingles on somebody's garage and knocked over a fence that was already rotten. Shut up.
F4 tornadoes that are on the ground for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and we were driving to a friend of my parents' house when we were younger, and we were going to Uniontown, PA, which is south of Pittsburgh, down Route 51 from Pittsburgh. And we're just as we're driving, there's a storm, and you could just see the funnel clouds forming. None of them touched down, but you could actually see them in the air just spinning away. It was that was crazy.
When I worked on the ambulance, anytime there was bad weather or chances of tornadoes, we had to leave the station and we had to get in the ambulance and we posted. We would go to certain towns, closest to where the storm was going to hit, where tornado chances were, and we would park there alongside the highway or the road and we would watch because, that was what we had to do anytime the storm hit. So we were out.
That makes sense considering you were an emergency responder.
Yeah.
Well, Seven Wonders had a question for us. He wanted to know if we talked about what Trump is planning to do or say maybe it possibly that nobody knows for sure tomorrow. Actually, no, we didn't. We actually talked about how instead of attacking each other, like certain parties have been doing lately, we need to be more banded together is what we were talking about, because we're going to be under more attack now than we have been. So.
I thought it's been quite refreshing that we haven't been talking about that. I've enjoyed this show thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else has been talking about it. It was, I just thought that, this will be a good time for everybody just to sit back, take a deep breath, and we can talk about something else. Because there's more stuff going on than just that, Sometimes you just gotta sit back and be like, nope, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, we've been keeping, there hasn't been a whole lot of, politics involved in tonight's chat, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, there's been a lot of politic talks lately.
Yeah, usually we'll talk more about politics and stuff than what we have tonight for the new people out there. Esquire, Dude Esquire, and Cotton Balls. But tonight, we're just, since it's been like the topic of every show that's been on yesterday and today, we decided that no, we're going to take it easier. We're just going to discuss other things on tonight.
It's just overload with the politics,
Yeah. But trust me, we do get into political stuff. If you go back and watch the backlog on this show, we definitely do cover politics on here.
And the occasional conspiracy chat, especially when Ellis was involved.
Well, I don't think we ever really talked about conspiracies on this show.
Yeah, because I know one night I remember I brought one up and you guys started bantering back and forth and I bailed out of the chat and left it to you guys.
I've done so many shows I don't remember. This is the 49th show. So, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. I remember me and Ghost going at it the one night when the Oklahoma governor vetoed constitutional carry. You guys remember when that happened? Ghost Tactical and I, man, we were going at each other that night. He was playing devil's advocate, and I just laid into his devil's advocate argument, and destroyed his argument on the devil's advocate side, which is why he does it. Because when he does the devil's advocate thing, if you can't argue from your point of view with somebody how you can do it with somebody you don't know. You know what I mean?
And that's where he does the devil's advocate, but he's not a jerk about it. That's where you can, you often know it's okay. He is trying to get you to think and to process.
Right.
He doesn't come across as a, I'll just, saying polite, he doesn't come across as a jerk.
Yeah. I've done the same thing on shows when we were I think it was right after, Parkland, when Parkland happened, and we were talking about, funding schools and school security and everything. Is like, where are you gonna get the money? And everybody kept saying, well, we just get the money. Where are you gonna get the money from? And it was like everybody come up with something. They'd be like, oh, we'll raise school taxes. How? That's got to go to a public referendum. And we had a public referendum in the town we moved from, where they wanted to increase the school taxes to try and save the music department and the phys ed department and stuff like that. And everybody voted no on it. How are you going to get people to pay for something that they don't want to pay for? And it's like nobody could come up with an answer to my devil's advocate questions about how you get the funding for it. Because nobody ever, because you got to, when you're making an argument, you got to be able to be prepared to answer all aspects of it. And people come up with solutions, but no way of implementing the solution. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's where like school security. That's where with the idea, some people throw out like say armed staff. That's where I'm a proponent rather than hiring a bunch or having the school pay for a bunch of it. It's because I've met teachers here in California that would they will sign up for anything they can get to increase their paycheck, but given a situation like that, they would be the first ones hiding under their desk. So that's where I'd rather see it a voluntary, where they more or less they supply their own. Just go with the firearm. They supply their own, and maybe they have to take their own, take a class and a test, for themselves to show that they are serious about it. But where it's the no additional money in their pocket, so that way it's only those that really want to do it and those that really want to take the chance of laying it on the line. So it's not people doing it just for money.
Yeah. Dude Esquire also brought up just an idea, but maybe you could pick one day of the week for just politics. That's the thing. This is just a weekly show. I do this show Sundays, and because during the course of the week we have other people that do shows, and we'll all be on other people's shows. Like Gizzard Gary, who's out there in the chat, he does a show on Friday nights, so we'll be on his chat. And each show will have different topics. Usually this show is political, but with the shootings and everything this weekend and all, and everybody else having covered this all day today and all day yesterday, I decided that today for this show we weren't going to talk about what was going on with El Paso and Dayton because everybody else has already covered those topics. So tonight it's more of a laid back discussion about whatever instead of actually going into politics or anything because of that reason.
Yeah, good choice, Rich. Good choice.
Yeah, if you go over to gunchannels.com, you'll be able to see a schedule of shows that are in this network of things, and you can sign up over there. It's free. But there's a whole network of us that do shows, and so you can go over there. There's the website's real simple, gunchannels.com. It's free to sign up for. You don't have to be a creator or anything to sign up. But there's a schedule on the front page when you first get there. You'll see a schedule at the top that shows what shows are on that day, and so you guys.
Plus, I have comments and posts and stuff you can go through.
Yep. If you like watching this show, or if you like any of the opinions of the panelists who have shows, you can always go and check. You'll be able to check out when they have their show and stuff over there.
Yeah, so actually, one of you guys better show me how to set that up. I'm on there, but I don't know. I was told. Maybe it was I told. Maybe it was GunTube. I don't know how to set it up where I can set my schedule for Wednesdays.
I would suggest email either GWebs or Nightstrike, who also is one that helps out a lot over there, and they can answer questions and help get your stuff set up.
Plus, they can put your show, if you're going to have it at that day, at that time for a while, they can post it on there, part of the schedule.
Okay. I'll do that.
Darn it, it didn't show up as a link. I hate when sometimes you got to put the HTTP and sometimes you don't. That just annoys me. Let me go over here. I'll just copy the link. See if this shows up as a link on YouTube. Let's see. There we go. That time it showed up as a link. So click on that link I just popped up. That'll take you over to. Oh, David posted it too. So he beat me to it, but not by much. So yeah, there's the link for you new people out there. If you want to go check out Gun Channels, and you'll see there's a whole list of shows for today that are listed, starting at 10 a.m. this morning, and the last one being at 10:30 p.m., which will be the closer, which is on after this show.
So I do want to mention Night Strike. If you guys don't know who Night Strike is, that out on the YouTube channel, he is having a fundraiser to get some new servers on there. I think it's on GunTube, isn't it?
Yeah, that's for guntube.org.
Yeah, GunTube. So the idea is to make it like YouTube, because YouTube, unfortunately, is cracking down on 2A members and content and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, who knows who's going to get the next strike. So there is an opportunity to take our content over there. But I definitely donated, and I urge people out there to donate to get these servers, because Night Strike's a good dude, and as far as I can see, I trust him pretty well, and he's got a good opportunity for when your channel has been taken down, to be able to go over there and still create content.
Plus, what he's also doing is the live streaming that he's trying to put together will live stream directly to YouTube, and it'll just go through the GunTube servers. Yeah, definitely go. I'll put the link to guntube.org in the chat here in just a second. But if you make videos and you want to see gun related, firearms related, Second Amendment related videos, definitely go check out GunTube, because all of us are over there, and there's a whole bunch of people that aren't on YouTube that are over there. But the live streaming that he's trying to get set up will connect directly to YouTube. All you got to do is put your stream key in, so it'll stream live to YouTube just through the GunTube servers.
Yeah, and it's not strike; it's spelled with a Y, and that's going to do this far. Yeah. Good dude, knows what he's talking about, and trying to create good content as far as being able to validate our sources where we can produce our content. And it's getting kind of nasty out there, even with the other platforms. I'm not going to go into it because this is not a politic conversation.
You can go to Indiegogo to help him out with this. It'll be under GunTube, all one word.
Yeah, you got that link for that handy, Kingpin? Because I don't.
I'm working on it, but
if you go to guntube.org,
yeah.
Night Strike's video is the first thing at the top, and he has a link right there for Indiegogo.
Yeah, I'll find it.
I got the link somewhere. I just don't remember where I put it.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, it's a very worthwhile cause. We're not just helping Night Strike out. He's helping us. He's giving us something back. He's giving us a platform, and he's giving us ability to live chat. So it's not like we're just helping him do something. He's giving back to us. He's giving a microphone to the Second Amendment. And, you can reach in and donate a little to just that aspect of it.
And if you can't donate, that's okay too. Spread the word.
Yeah,
it's
definitely spread the word. I mean, at the very least, I mean, like Bloke was saying, if you can't afford to, right now I'm in the situation financially where I can't help him right now, maybe a little bit later, but right now I can't. So, but we're trying to get the word spread. So anything helps,
Well, absolutely it does. And what just the spreading the word helps, because Night Strike's gaining some personal motivation over this little project, and you're just a little bit of help, a little bit of good word for him. It's not only helping this project, but it's making him feel a little better. So he's one of our gun brothers, and there ain't nothing wrong with making him feel a little better.
I'm trying to find the link here, so hold on. Okay.
I can't find where I had that darn link at.
Yeah.
I know somewhere where I had it. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I just got to get copied and pasted. If it'll let me.
And he's a content provider too, and there's a lot of good esteemed panels on his show too.
All right. All right. That should be the working link to that. So click on there and go check out what he's doing over there with that. And if you watch it, what show was it this morning where he was on Gary's show where he was demonstrating what he's trying to do?
He's been on a. I wasn't there this morning, but it's been a couple of different ones, and spread the word, and he's doing an honest favor, honestly, to all of us. And like Kingpin said, he's the first one who's going to go ballistic when everybody's channels gets taken down and nobody's watching. Well, it's the truth. It's very hard to get out there and produce good content without being demonetized.
Yeah. And today on Gizzard Gary's chat, he brought up a good point. Everybody's switched over to StreamYard right now, but who knows how StreamYard is going to, they're just starting out. So what are they going to evolve to? They could just as easily as you do turn around and say they don't like our content.
Mm-hmm.
I take it back to the personal aspect of things like Jason was talking about. You were there, Rich, on that live stream where we talked to Night Strike about it. And tell me if I'm lying. Isn't he a different person after that day?
Yeah. He was getting a little bit depressed after Gary showed Ray, I was talking to him for a little bit, and trying to get his confidence built up a little bit because he's down because of his cat. He lost his cat recently, so he's still a little bit down about that. But I was trying to build him back up a little after Gary's chat.
But he's totally a different Night Strike than he was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The spark is in his eye. Like he's motivated and he's ready, and he's got a fire under him. And if he's our friend, we're going to support him. Whether it's like you guys said, donations, or whether it's make a video or just do like we're doing now and talk about it and tell people about it. If you got $1, send it that way. If you don't got $1, ask your friend to send $1 that way. Tell somebody about it. So either don't call him your friend or don't or support him. If you don't support him, then don't call the guy your friend. And definitely don't complain to me when StreamYard kicks us off of here.
Yeah.
Not that StreamYard will. StreamYard might be the best friend that the gun community's ever had. We don't know that yet, but we do know that Night Strike is one of us.
Yeah, and I want to get back to a question from the audience again because Duke Esquire's got another question for us. What's the best favorite gun that you guys own? Start with. I guess we'll start with you, Bloke.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay, so I would say about 3 or 4 months ago it was my 1911. However, I just recently acquired a 226 P226. It's a 40 cal, and I'm thoroughly liking it. I don't know why, just the feel of it, just how it shoots. But for now, that's it.
All right, Jason.
I'd have to say I've evolved a little bit. I would have said my Berettas, but I'm gonna have to say the 1911. You pick your manufacturer. Yeah.
The one that you like got for a steal of a price.
Yeah, the Nighthawk's a fabulous pistol, but there's other makers out there that are good pistols too. If you just get a good quality 1911, maybe do a little work on it yourself. It's just something that you get into. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't.
Okay. Kingpin.
Well, the best guns that I own are my Ruger 1911 and my CZ75. As far as pistols go, as far as rifles go, probably the best gun that I own is that's kind of tough because they're all kind of like basic lame-o guns, but my Remington 500 is probably my most accurate. So if I have to say best that way, then I'd go with that. My favorite gun is my 37A shotgun and my Marlin 60 that I got from my dad and my brother. And then soon to be the answer to this question for the foreseeable future is going to be the AR pistol that I got from Scotsman and Milsert Mike. That's going to be on the top of the list for the foreseeable future.
I was going to butt in and say that.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget about your lever gun dreams.
Mine. I don't know. It's hard to say. I love my HK USP. I love my 620, my Smith & Wesson model 627. And as far as like pistols are concerned, those are probably my favorite two. You know, I don't actually carry either one of them, but they're my favorite two to like shoot at the range. But neither one of them is something that's the easiest to conceal carry. Or I don't have a holster for either one of them right now either, so that doesn't help.
So what is your regular EDC?
My regular EDC, it depends. I have 4 different pistols that fit into this that I will conceal carry. One's an M&P 2.0 compact in 40, one's a Shield in 40, one's a Shield 380 EZ, and the other's a Taurus G2C. I'll carry any one of those 4 on any given day. Right now, I got the G2C on my hip.
Cool.
What
about the rest of you guys?
I'm not done because I also love shooting my Shockwave 20 gauge. I mean, with the pistol brace and everything I have on that thing's real. It's a real fun shooter.
You got the 590?
Yeah, it's the 590 Shockwave.
Yeah.
Have you haven't seen my Shockwave?
No, I have not.
Okay, hold on. I'll go grab it.
While he's getting it, what's you guys' EDC?
I'd have to pass on that, defer to Kingpin. Just so you know, both Kingpin and I don't have our concealed carries.
Gotcha.
I'm just too lazy, and Kingpin's not allowed.
You see that?
Not the Kingpin's not allowed. His state he lives in
Let me make
doesn't allow.
In here real quick.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah. I did. I've done some work to this. This is not stock. I'm sure you can tell because it doesn't come with that stock forend.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't come with the pistol brace, but I put a pistol brace on there, a pistol grip, and I also put a XS Big Dot night sight on the front.
Ooh.
Did you see Orange Man's backstage?
Oh no, I did not. So hold on. He was. If he was, he's not now.
You know, check at the very bottom. It's really difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it's not showing him. He must have jumped out.
Oh, he's not there anymore, he said.
Yeah, he's not there.
Pop in there.
Is he still out there on the YouTube side?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still out there on the YouTube side. Tell him to jump back in. I didn't know he was there. Oh. Yeah, jump back in, obnoxious. I wasn't at my computer, so I didn't know you were there. I went to grab this to show bloke.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a standard Mossberg 500 grip, foregrip that I put on there because when I got a wood grip, pistol grip on order that I'm waiting for because it was one of those custom things where you got to order it, and they got so many that they can get out at a time because it's a small little shop that makes them. So
Yeah.
it should be getting shipped soon because they had a 2-month backlog when I was when I ordered it. So hopefully I'll be getting that soon and get that on here. It'll have like it's an aluminum frame, and it'll have like wood scales on the sides, like what like 1911 almost. Oh, you got the metal with the wood on the sides.
Nice.
Knox is saying that Midnight Range has his links sent out. So yep, that's our cue to start wrapping this up for tonight because we go until he gets his link set out. Yep, there it is. I just got the link. So does anybody have anything they want to plug real quick?
Just want to continue to plug GunTube over on Indiegogo. It's Night Strike's platform for the gun community, and want to make some improvements and do some things that everybody was really going to enjoy and benefit from. So go over there and check out GunTube, all one word, on Indiegogo.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out everybody's channel on this Esteem panel, go ahead and do so. We've got some great content, great people, and good friends, man.
Anybody else? Kingpin?
Oh man, I'm good. Peace.
All right. So, Dude Esquire, if you want to watch another show, head over to the channel called Midnight Range TM, and because he's getting ready to fire his show up. You want a link to that? If he got it scheduled or not. If he doesn't have it scheduled, I can't send a link yet. Let me see. No, he doesn't have. I don't got a notification. Darn it. Let me see.
Yeah, for some reason, he keeps emailing me. I don't get it. I don't get the email.
Let me see. I'm working on getting you a link. So, yeah. Here we go. I found the link to the show. All right, hold on. Let me copy that. You come back over here, and I'll paste this here. There's the link to his show right there for you. So there you go. So we'll bid you all adieu for tonight, and thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. What's left of it. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one.
Take it easy. Cheers.